having me here, first of all, and talking it, bringing me to this table and talk about my journey towards healthy lifestyle, I would say. Not much, but yeah. So long back, when I was having some medical issues related to thyroid and all this stuff, gaining more weight and everything, in 2015, I just started walking, going to a lake nearby to my house, and I was walking 400, 500 meters and was getting tired with a heavy breath and everything. I used to sit, then try to walk a little more, come back, just walking hardly 800 or meters or 1 kilometer. And this way the days passed by. I started walking a little more, and then I saw a few people running. Like, there were very less people running during that time, back in 2015, in that lake nearby, which is very famous. So I saw two of the people running, and I started. Wishing that one day I'll run like them. One day, oh God, I make me run like that. How will I start? I don't know how to start, and how will I? I didn't have any knowledge about it, and my body was not supporting. But then that was a day when I started putting that dream into this thing, and then I had my complete focus towards my health. That okay, one day I have to run like that person, and that's how I started walking a little more, and then putting one step and the next step, pole to pole. Started running 100 meters, then started 100 meters, 200 meters, and then one day when I completed that whole round of 2 kilometers, I gifted myself with the new shoes. Before that, I was just running in a pair of shoes of 800 rupees. So I thought the day I'll finish my first round, I'm going to gift myself with a good pair of shoes, making myself sure that yes, I'm serious about my health and running. So that happened within. It took me around, I would say, 1 year to reach that goal. It took me 1 year, but I was focused. I kept reading about running, what all I need to know about running. It was not that difficult, but because I was new, I was not knowing how to start, from where to start. So I still remember I had a bookmark in my Google Chrome, and over there, whatever I read about running, I'll bookmark that page. I had a list of bookmark page. It became my dream, my vision that okay, I have to, I have to be a runner. So it doesn't matter that it is you're jogging, you're running, you're 2 kilometers or 500 meters, doesn't matter. So this is how my journey towards running started. That day when I ran 2 kilometers, I met one person, and that person told me there are a lot of running groups in Ahmedabad, and you can join, come aboard, and then you will this way you will go more forward towards running, and you'll try to run a little more. And from there, I tried to run a little more. One day I finished 5 kilometers. I was in Bangalore that time. I thought, I went for some training. I thought it's a new garden. Let me try this new place and run 3 kilometers. I was just running 2 kilometers. That day, instead of thinking of three, I ran 5 kilometers, and I patted myself, oh, wow, you can do that. And this is how my journey towards running started. And then slowly and gradually, I ran my 5K, I ran my 10K, I ran my 21K, and I have I ran number of 30 or 40, I think, 21 kilometers, half marathons basically. And I did 2 ultra marathons also, yeah. So everyone is struggling or trying to balance this work-life balance we need to have, and everyone is trying that one day I'll get time and I'll go for run or walk, or someday I'll start, one day I'll wake up early. So determination, we talk about determination. We all know that we determine tomorrow we are going to do this, but that gets lost in next third or fourth day. We have a kind of resolutions. Every new year we take a resolution that we want to do this, but then it lasts for 1 week, and then we pay the gym fees and everything. So I surely had some medical issues. One day I decided that no, anyhow I want to start with my exercise, with my walk or something, that I need to do something for my body, because I was feeling very heavy. If I sit down on the floor, I could not stand up properly, right? It took me a lot of pressure to stand up or take a support, and the weight was increasing. So that day I decided, if not today, what day I'm going to do? I need to at least start, day one or one day, whatever you say, but you need to start. And somewhere someone commented on me that you're going very, very, very fat. I took that comment very positively. That day I still remember, and I go and thank that person that I'm very thank you that you commented on me. It's generally the person will not take it positively and say, oh, who is he to comment on me? But then that person commented on me, and I took very positively. I said, I have to do something. And working, and then you're working full time, and then you have managing the home and everything, and you still have to balance. I think that is all possible. It is all possible if you just try that first step one day, the second day, the third day, and just be a little consistent for first 4 to 5 days. Take a friend, take a buddy together, or take your partner together, and just jump in one day, and then you'll see that how easy also it is there to have this work-life balance. And with that, you want to do the exercise and stay fit and healthy. So that is how I started. Yeah. When I was not into this journey, I had a lot of loss of confidence. I can still tell that very frankly, that I was losing out my confidence in my day to day activities in my work. And it was like, whatever task I was doing, I was getting a little nervous. And my willingness to do something, or my day to day activities were getting, everything was getting like I'm losing something in my life. And that day when I started, I could feel that whenever I went for a run, I came back from a run, there was a sense of completion, a sense of confidence. And this is how running has helped me to get that confidence back. Running gives you a great determination. It makes your brain and mind stronger, actually. So when you go for a run or a walk or a jog, your mind becomes very strong, because you are pushing your limits. Everyone has a limit. You're pushing your limit every next step. Your brain is pinging you that you need to stop. It's more like it's done now, you're not able to run more, please stop. But then you're pushing every next step, and this is how you're pushing your limits. And then one day you realize that, oh, you can do a lot, but you never tried. So that is how running has helped me, that you can go a next step further, you can extend yourself more, unless and until you put that step and you try something. So running makes your brain very stronger. Running gives you a lot of confidence, strength, and challenges. And that challenge is a challenge in your life. You are able to cross any challenges in the life if you are running or doing any sort of activities.
Any example you can give with respect to your personal or professional life?
Yeah, sure. So I still remember that my first 10K that I did, it was around 6 kilometers that I was almost tired. I just tried. I mean, that day it was like I was determined I want to finish this 10K anyhow. By the 6 kilometers, I was about to give up. And that time, I still remember my son told me that, Mama, you are going to go and finish it out and not going to come back. You're not going to come back without finishing that 10K. You have to run and come back. And that instance, I promised, he told me, and I promised that I'll complete and come. So that was an instance that gave me a push that I've promised. And that thought that, okay, he's waiting home and for me for that medal that Mama completed. I wanted to set an example for him also, that see, if you're determined, if you put a little more into that, you're able to accomplish whatever you want. So that 10K that I accomplished that day, it gave me more strength and stamina, and that helped me to take more challenges in my work, and take up new activity, new work at my workplace, and take up new assignments at my workplace. So I think that one instance made my willpower more strong, I would say, because the distance itself is something that it keeps on challenging you, and that way it was like, I was able to take up more challenging work in my my personal and professional journey. Yeah. So in 2015, I just started my walking and a regular jog or something like that. By 2016 start, I remember it was my first 10K that I did. It took me around 3 to 4 months to come to 10K. And then I put more efforts, and I started, running a little more and practicing. And I did my 21K in 2016 year end, I think. Yeah. It's not about running your 10K. It's not about running your 21K. It's more about that you come out, do that activity, do some running, walking, jogging, because putting one step on the ground, then putting a next step, it is like you're lifting your leg, you're lifting your whole body. Running is one kind of exercise where your whole body is working, right? If it is cycling, at least the cycle is helping you. If it is gym, the machines are helping you. But running is one kind of exercise which you have to do all on your own with your legs, right? And that gives you a lot of willpower, that gives you a lot of strength in your mind or your brain, because your brain is constantly pinging you, no, you cannot go the next step, I'm totally tired, I'm totally sweating, I cannot do anymore. So that willpower and that strength which running gives is amazing, right? And it is all about that you go out and run at least your 1k, 2k, 3k, whatever you can. And the moment you start, you're definitely going to put more distance and you're going to become a long distance runner. So that is my only goal, was that I just keep on running. It was not that I go for a full marathon or an ultra or something, or I complete my half marathon or 10k in these many minutes. No, it was only that I have to go out, I have to run and get the sense of that accomplishment and come back home. And my whole day used to be such a fresh, superb day that I felt more energetic towards my work. Or I start my day 5:30 in the morning, I can still work till 12 o'clock in the night. That was the energy I used to that is the energy that I used to get after running till today, at least. Yeah. With this example, yeah, I have a very great example. Like I told, that person told me that you're going, let me just say, aap bahut bhadde lag rahe ho. This was the comment I got. I took it so positively, and I'm still thankful that I got that comment, because my body was giving me that signal, right? Every day I look into the mirror, I was feeling that, but I was not able to do anything about it. As usual, that we get lazy about it. We don't want to put time, or we don't want to give efforts. That was the simplest thing that every human being has in their life. I mean, every human being is going across that challenge, right? That day that I want to start. So that day, when I stood in front of I stood in front of the mirror, or when I go to a mall to buy clothes, I pick up my original size is L, but it's not fitting me. Somewhere बोलते हैं अदरक का shape है, ginger shape. यहाँ से fat निकला हुआ है. So I stood into the mirror. I said, L clothes I fit. I have to buy XL. I have to buy double XL, get it stitched accordingly, and then I wear that clothes. No, I cannot do that anymore. That day I was standing in front of that changing room, in front of the mirror in the changing room. I don't know from where that thought came in. बहुत हो गया बस. बहुत हो गया. I told myself बहुत हो गया. I came back home. That was the next day. I started walking. I started walking for 500 meters, 1 kilometer, then slowly running. And that day, slowly and gradually, it took me around 4 years to come back to small size clothes. It's not about clothes. It's not about just clothes, your L size or small size clothes. It's about you understanding your healthy lifestyle journey. It's not about that you want to look beautiful in this mini dress or something like that. It's all about how you feel about yourself, and how much you love about yourself, and how much is that body active, sitting on the floor and getting up. I realized that day when I was not able to stand up from the floor, and now I know that how easily I can quickly jump from the floor. So that difference I can see, and that makes me always, it gives, if I get a little lazy now also, human beings, we cannot be always that consistent or that determined, and it's a very frank thing. Nobody can be 100% determined the whole day to exercise. Yes, you get lazy at times, yeah? Like, let us be very honest. So the day I have a week off or a month of time where I've become too lazy, I remember that incident. I again remind myself, do you want to go back into that L exercise clothes? No, not at all. I've kept this clothes. I've not thrown. I kept that aside. But I said, I don't want to go back to those clothes, and I'm not going to wear those clothes anymore. So it's not about clothes, but that example I give to myself, because that gives me a very good feeling that I'm feeling very light, very active, and more importantly, my mind is very calm, and my mind is very, my mind is not cloudy. I can think very clearly. When I did my first 2K, I came across, it was back in 2017, I think, or 16. Yeah, 16. So I came across one post on Facebook about 100 days of running. So that 100 days of running, I joined that event. It was a virtual event. You run anywhere 2 kilometers every day for 100 days. I participated in that event, and there were very few people running, and there were very few females running across the country, right, that time. So that time I completed that challenge, and then they came up they came up with some the thing that, can you share your personal journey and everything. And that time I wrote a list of things that I came across, my feelings, how I challenged myself, how I put the time, and then they posted it on their website. 100 days of running, the fear of running. But the post was fear of running. I had a fear of running, that I won't be able to run any day. That fear of running was that post name, and then they had put this thing, and yeah, so that is how I shared. They shared my journey to start with. As I said, that when I started walking, that time, the moment I put my steps, I had a very heavy breathing, right? And every morning when I tried to run, every morning I wake up, I have a glass of water, like 2-3 glasses of water. That time I used to have a anxiety that I'll go out, but I won't be able to, I won't be able to take my step up. I had a lot of anxiety. I'm very frank, and many a times after that also I used to have this. But then slowly and gradually that anxiety went off the moment I started running, like 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. That anxiety slowly started vanishing off. I used to get that anxiety every morning. I need to push myself that yes, you have to go and run today, and then my mind will say, no, you can't run, please go and sleep. So every day I was juggling around with this situation. And I still remember that how I started. There was a small temple mandir kind of thing at that lake. Whenever I crossed that part, thank you God to make me run, thank you God to make me run. That was there for me every time. Oh God, make me run today 2 kilometers. So this is how I've crossed, and I today still go and say thank you for making me run. that was my whole episode of how I started. And it was very difficult. I can still remember. It was very difficult for me. Very difficult for me, because I had a hypothyroidism. My weight was shooting up. I was 86 kg that time, and I don't know what all was happening with me. I was like a lot of things. Yeah. Yes. So anyone who wants to, anyone can, no, not who wants to, but anyone can onboard this journey. It's just that one push from inside. Like I said, I had that example. No, bahut ho gaya. Day one day, it's done now. Have that thought in your mind, because until and unless that thought and that push will not come, today you'll go, tomorrow you'll again sleep. Have that thought in your mind. Karna hi hai aaj se. That is the first step you have to take. And you have to start speaking to yourself, right? Every morning, every night, sone se pehle, tell yourself, tomorrow morning I have to wake up. Set down 10 alarms. Let them keep on buzzing. Don't let your partner or your friend or whoever is next to you to stop it. Make them also tell that, you need to wake me up, and let us both go together, if it is your friend or your partner. That is the first step. The second step is go and at least go and walk 2 kilometers. There are 10,000 steps. Go and walk 5,000 steps at least to start with, whatever time you have. It is 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Some days when I'm waking up late, I will just wear my sandals and I'll go next to the garden nearby and walk only around, like, I have 15 minutes. I'll go and walk and come back. That 15 minutes also gives me so much of refreshness that my whole day is energetic. So don't think that I don't have time today. I woke up late. I have a lot of course to do. If you have at least 15 minutes also, wear that slipper or sandal. Sometimes you get very lazy wearing that shoes and socks, changing the clothes, going in a night dress. No problem. Nobody's watching. Wear that slipper, sandal, whatever you want. At least go out to start with, at least. These things will give you that push to start that journey. These are the two important things. When you're sleeping in the night, tell yourself that tomorrow I'm going to wake up and go for a walk or a run or a jog, at least to start with. The third thing is that at times you feel that, today I cannot go, tomorrow I'll go. Don't be too tough on yourself. Give yourself time that, okay, theek hai. Today I went, tomorrow I didn't go. Let me again go. See, that first day was so good. Remind yourself that first day was so good. I was feeling so refreshed. See, that then you need to remember. You need to just pass down those information to your brain and neurons that see how good you are feeling. And then jumping back to the third day, if you have lost that second day also. So this way you have to, you'll eventually become a little regular in your daily walks. And then to run, when you have a little regularity in your walks, it's not that you need to wait for one day that okay, I'll be regular and then I'll start running. No, that third day itself, you put that 100 meters of run, 200 meters of run, walk for 200 meters, run 200 meters, slowly and gradually run 500 meters, walk 500 meters. And this way, slowly and gradually, you cut down or you slow down your walks and increase your run. So you start with 200, 400, 500 meters, walk, run strategy. Eventually, you see the pole, you see the tree, or you see something ahead and say, let me walk till that point. Let me run till that point. Then I will walk. The moment you are about to approach that pole or tree, you tell your brain that, oh, thoda aur. Then you again stretch yourself for more 200 meters. This is how I started. And your brain will always ping you that, no, ho gaya, you can't do more. But you need to reverse that signal. You need to reverse that signal. And you have to say, one more pole, one more tree. And then we'll walk. And the moment you finish, pat yourself. Make yourself happy that you did it today. And then get this, need to get this positive and happy hormones up, saying yourself that you did very well today. Tomorrow again, we'll try more. So these are very simple things to start. These are the simple things to start. And one day you start, and then eventually you can read more about it and get a little pro into it. So that is all the further journey. Yeah. The information about what kind of shoes you need to wear or something like that is available. That you can, that like it is available on the websites. You go to the website and you find out running shoes. But yeah, the running shoes are very costly actually. I would say they start from 5K, 6K, and they end up going like 12K or even 20K sometimes. Yeah. But as I said, the way I started my journey, I was running in the 800 rupees pair of shoes. It is completely okay. It is more important that, first you start. You don't need to invest into a very good pair of shoes. Whatever you have, you just start. And then eventually, there are good stores which have very good running shoes. Decathlon is one of the stores that they have very good kind of sports, very reasonable price. So anyone can go and, buy these shoes. And if I come back, I'm coming back to a little basics. I am running nowadays in barefoot. I'm running barefoot, or I'm running in a very zero kind of sole, which is equal to a barefoot running, because so it depends. Like some people can run in shoes, they can run barefoot also. So there is a barefoot kind of running also. The moment you run barefoot, you feel like you have a different kind of amazing feeling. So if you remember, like when we were small, we were just running, playing in the fields and the grounds and the school playgrounds and everything, removing our shoes and running like that. That used to be a natural way of running actually. So whichever way the person likes, they can go. They can get good shoes from Decathlon. They can get very good shoes from other shops, sports shops, and they can go barefoot running also if the infrastructure allows, because then you have to just make sure that the roads don't have some glasses or something like that. So in India, so the app that I use, it's not from community, but it's a proper app. It's a free app available on Google or on iOS, on the Android or iOS. So it is called Strava. So maximum of the sports people, the amateur runners like us or the cyclist kind of all people are using this app called as STIDE Strava. So this app is free. If you want to get a premium version, it is okay, but not needed. You can go for Strava version. There used to be different apps more, but for my running community, we don't have any kind of apps. We have a running community where we have events and everything. We run together on weekends. We run together on the weekdays in our area. And we have some 10K, 21K events that we organize throughout the year. So we have this community where we run together. The running season that we call in our running community is generally starting from October, Feb or March maximum. So this is the running season. Why? Because we have winters during this time. After March or April, it is like very hot and humid. So this season is like a kind of a very be active, but don't if I talk for a common person, it would be active, but take care of your hydration and your health, because it is very humid and very hot outside. Because anytime there can be a stroke or sunstroke or something like that. So you have to be active, but you shouldn't push much in during the sun. There are people who run, they have their goals and everything. I'm not saying like that, but for a common person who just wants to start running, this is the season that there are events, right? Running season is October to April. During this time, there are a lot of events happening across the country. It is in Satara region. There are a lot of events happening in Pune. Mumbai Marathon is one of the famous event in our country, where even the athletes come in and they run. So this event I have participated, I think 4 times. I ran my half marathon over there. The special thing about this event is there are around 60,000 people running, and the atmosphere and the vibes, the whole aura of that event itself is different. So I just go and participate in that event to get that feel. People come with their goal, their dreams to finish in some timeline that they want to finish their full marathon or half marathon in so and so hours. But I always go to enjoy that event. So that Mumbai Marathon is one of the best events in the country. There are more events in Bangalore, Hyderabad. A lot of states have these events. In Gujarat, Ahmedabad itself, we have around 4 to 5 events happening throughout this season. So TCS 10K is okay. So because you asked about Pune and Maharashtra, Bangalore, TCS 10K is an event happening, I think, around in 4 to 5 states in our country. So anyone can go and participate in TCS 10K, especially corporate people, because TCS 10K, the name of the event is corporate event. So anyone who is working in any corporate can get registered over there and can participate in that event. And that event is one of the best events in our country because it is a 10K, and anyone who is not even running can go and participate and walk and come back, at least to get that sense of that event. And maybe that from that day, that person will start running. We are human beings, and we know that it's very, very difficult to keep that determination and that consistency, always. And it is okay. I would say that it is okay if sometimes you are getting a little lazy and not able to, have that continuation. It is okay. Don't hammer yourself. But the moment you start doing all those things. So as I said, I was running fast since few years, and in between I got a little lazy. But that doesn't mean that muscle memory has gone. No, the moment I put my step outside, I'm again into that same feel, that same energy and everything. So to get that determination back, you need to have something in your subconscious mind. Like I said, I had that size of my clothes that I want to go back. So if I am not running, I'll be cycling. If I'm not cycling, I'll be doing some yoga. If I'm not doing yoga, I'll be either in the gym. If nothing, at least any day you feel nothing, today I don't have any time, you have some break time, take some elastic bands that you get in the market, put down your bands across your legs, walk like a duck, or walk, do some squats with the band, do some jumping jacks, do some ropes. You're standing in the kitchen, use a platform to have your leg sides and all those things done. Do 30 seconds of plank maximum you can do. So keep something active in yourself, and just the person, like, I mean, what way I have, I speak to myself is something in a day that you have to do. If nothing, take that dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, take 1 liter bottles. Do some hand exercise or something. Keep yourself, a little engaged into some activity, and that will never let you go out of your active lifestyle, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because that's where we tend to go.
Yeah. So we plan that one day I will do this. One day I will start yoga. One day I'll put my yoga mat and I'll do yoga on the yoga mat with some video online, right? It happens. It happens to me also. But then when I found out that small, slots in between, that I don't have time. I want that yoga mat. I love to sit on that yoga mat and then do that yoga, because that is how I feel that that happiness. But then, okay, I'll just sit. I'll quickly put that yoga mat. I'll sit for just 10 minutes, do that 5 basic asanas, and I'm out. So that 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes slot, you have a lot of exercise. But then you don't have to plan that I'll do this exercise. Look around, whatever is available, just do that 1 or 2 exercises to make yourself energetic. Yeah. So this is very correct. Like, you have to balance both things. It is okay if you are only running. It is okay if you are into gym or strengthening. It is completely okay. There is no, I won't say there is any thumb rule. Even I will say there is no blanket statement, because in my experience of these many years, what I understood is that every body type is different. What suits you better is more important. If a person is running because that person has just joined that bandwagon of being a runner, and then running, but it is not supporting that body, probably the weight is increasing, the cortisol hormone is increasing, the cortisol is increasing, right? I used to feel like that. When I started running, that time I said I used to get a lot of stress. I was not able to put down my weight. After some 3-4 years, I realized how much I need to run. Do I really need to run that 30K, 20K, or do I need to stop at 10K? I need to sense and feel my body, that how is my body responding. Then slowly I mixed few things. I started a little gymming, right? I started doing strength training. I felt that combination very good. Then I added yoga during the corona time. I added yoga, and my weight drastically reduced by 3 kgs. I was very much surprised. What happened? I was not running. I was doing yoga. But probably that was a time when everyone was at home. We were not going to office. So probably that small stress of rushing to the office hours, for the office hours, to going throughout that big huge traffic on the road. So probably that was another factor. But one needs to realize that what suits best. People do run and reduce their weight. They feel still good. But with running, you need to do some cross training. You need to do some cross training, you need to do some strengthening also. So if a person is running, 3 days of run is more than enough. Cardio is good. Some people say that there is a muscle loss. I have not gone into that much of science, but I just know that what balance we can bring in this. Go for 3 days running, 4 days running, do some strength training, do any kind of strength training you want, cross training, and you can do some weight training, dumbbells or barbell or something like that. Do some squats, do some lunges, do some wall sit. More than enough. That is more than enough. So you have to balance both of the things, and some kind of core exercise also, like the center part of your body, which is your core. If you only run, probably one day, probably then someday, if your back hurts, you have to just understand what is happening. Running is not wrong. Your core is weakening. You have to strengthen your core. So you have to balance. But when a person is on this journey, they will not understand the first time that what is happening. So a basic understanding has to be there, that the things have to be together. You do some core, you do some strengthening, and you do some running. So that is, like, I guess that's the best package. So I still remember, I was trying to bring my son into this running and all. So I used to push him. And one day there was a charity event somewhere. So in the city, I took him together. So I took him that you have to come and walk with me. I didn't tell him the distance that day. And I told it is just 5K that you have to walk. And we kept on talking, and there were so many people, and he was feeling so nice and happy looking to people, and some kids were also there. And that day he walked 10 kilometers actually with me, and he did realize. So I think that one example is still in his mind, and looking to us, even he understands that this is like he has seen the parents doing this. So the kind of example that you're setting for the kids, and they're looking at you doing such things, so they are never going to they're never going to forget that. And one point of time in their life, they are surely going to follow. So we need to imbibe such kind of learnings into them by becoming an example for them, trying to bring them and participate in such events, so that even they feel that happiness and accomplishment, a sense of accomplishment when you give that medal to them, or that day you treat them, and they will feel so super happy and proud about that. So this is how you take your kids along, and even seeing to you also, they are surely going to follow one day, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. So till 2017, I guess, or 17, I was only into running, and I started a little bit of gym also with that. One day it happened that there are some cycles on the there are cycle stands on the road nearby, like some nearby some places in our city where we have this cycles available. You go and just register and get one cycle out of that stand. So my bike is one of them, right? You know that. So I just saw that and I was very curious to know that, I was curious that I want to go and ride that cycle. So I took that cycle and I just went and did some 5-kilometer riding. I just rode off some 5 kilometers. I just came back and I just told myself I want to do some cycling now. And that day I went to this app and I registered myself and I got one cycle for a month on rent, right? It was some very basic rent I paid and I got that cycle. So I got that cycle. I started cycling and I told my husband also to accompany me and he also started. Then that was 1 month and then later on I did hardly, I guess, 10 or 15 kilometers of cycling almost once or twice in a week. After that, I felt, no, I loved cycling. So let me get one cycle. But then again, as I did with my running, I said, I'll not buy a new cycle unless and until I feel that, I can ride a little more distance. Then I borrowed the cycle from one of the friend that day. And I rode, I guess, 100 kilometers of cycling with my friend on a borrowed bike. That day I felt, and I started around at 5:30 in the morning and I completed around in the hot sun around 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that day I brought that cycle. The same day, as I finished my cycling, I went and gave that cycle back to the friend. If you know his Hemal, if you know him, Hemal Patel, right? I got the cycle from his home. I started cycling next day. I finished the cycling because I was nearby to his area. That time only I gave him back and I said, thank you so much for your cycle. This is a new motivation for me now. And then I bought a very new cycle for myself in my life. Because when I was small, we used to get our sibling cycle. We never got our new thing. Because I was the youngest one, I used to get the used things. So I always used to tell my dad, I want one cycle. But he used to give me that bhai wali cycle, which is danda nikal ke beech mein se, right? So I said, I want my ladybird cycle. And then when I bought my cycle, I had that sense of this thing that, yeah, I can cycle that. I can cycle now more. And then I did my 2 events, BRM, that is called. These are like events happening across the world. So I did this BRM event twice, which is 200 kilometers. So I did 200 kilometers twice. And then, so I've added cycling into my journey. And then I saw one of my friend who is a mountaineer, and I used to see she goes for a lot of trekking and all, and she's a mountaineer. So I used to tell her that, do you think I can climb mountains or I can at least do a little bit of that trekking also? She said, why not? I said, no, I think I'll have a lot of heavy breathing and all those things. I'm very afraid that I cannot climb that steep thing. She said, just try it out. So there was one of my colleague who was going on trekking, and he used to ask me every time whenever he used to go that, do you want to join? I used to say no. And that one day, I don't know how it happened. I just messaged him, pinged him that, where are you going now? So he said, we are going next month on this track. I said, I even want to join. He said, no, you just give excuses. You're not going to join. I said, I'm serious this time. And there was one seat available into that whole booking. And I did that. That was my first track I did. And after that, it is like not stopping. And now I simply love tracking. I did three tracks in last 1.5 years. I did 3 tracks, and my highest is 15,000 feet of altitude that I tracked last year. So that is how tracking happened. And then during COVID and just before COVID, I joined yoga classes. So yoga was already added, and I can do a very good kind of yoga. I won't say I'm an expert, but at least I've learned yoga. So I can say that I can do that. Yeah. And I still do.
Yeah. And all of this while parenting and working, right? Full time.
Yeah. Full time. Yeah. Full time. So the question that you asked, again, that I feel very happy that I'm setting an example in front of my kid. So, and I've seen him that he also tries to be a little active, either goes for gym or goes for playing badminton or some sport. So kids do watch us and they learn from the way we act, not just what we talk. The way we act, the way we behave, our actions are the best teachers for them. Are what we do, they learn from that. So it's very important that even what we are doing, that even it is a direct implication to them. let me be very honest. So the day I started, running 2 kilometers. So for him, like I told him, like, we used to go for walks together, and then when we started together running, he was able to do it very flawlessly, right? He could run very flawlessly. But then again, it was limited to 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. We were not able to put a little more until we joined the running group, because when there is a common community, when there is a community, there's always a support and help, and when you're with the same like-minded people, it helps you to push a little more. So there it is where we got a help from our running community, Ahmedabad distance runners. So our journey started from there. But as I said, the weekend runs were together. So I stay in a part of city which is east, and the running group, major people are towards the west side of the city. So Sunday, traveling 10 kilometers, 14 kilometers from my place to that place, and then run just 10 kilometers. Traveling 14 kilometers and running 10 kilometers with a group, right? That motivation was needed. I did because I said, I was fixed. It was fixed, and I have to do it. So I went 2 Sundays to run with the group, and he didn't join me. That pagal hai kya? Itni dur drive karke jana hai? No, I'm not coming with you. He slept. Then he didn't come with me. It was the 3rd or 4th Sunday, I remember. I still remember that. कि तो मुझे छोड़ के चले गई दौड़ने के लिए. And then that 4th Sunday he was with me, and even he felt so happy running with the community and the group the weekends, that he came with me, and it became our habit. And let me tell you, a person like me on Sundays who used to wake up at 9 a.m. started waking up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. literally, I'm saying 4 a.m. We wake up at 4 a.m. We used to wake up at 4 a.m. 5 a.m. or 5:15, we are out of our house, reaching 5:30, starting our runs, running for 3 hours or 2 hours till 7:30, and then coming back home. This used to be our routine for a long, long time. Now that we have become regular, and now that we are into this journey, so sometimes we run together or alone or whatever way, right? But this was the journey. That is how my husband got onboarded with me. And it is always said that if the couple is there, if it is a couple goal, it is very, you enjoy that, enjoy that more, because then you don't have to worry that he's waiting for you at home. Chai kab milegi, breakfast kab milega? No, he's with you. So there's no tension about it. And my family also supported, my in-laws also supported a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.